The silence that screamed. A doctor's story of battling depression with his patient. The consultation room was quiet, with only the soft sound of a pen gliding across paper filling the space. Dr. Ricardo carefully reviewed the next patient's file. He knew the story well, but reliving those details always carried a weight. He understood how devastating depression could be, and João was a living example of it. João entered, shoulders slumped, eyes vacant. It looked like he was carrying the world on his back. He was 32 years old, but his worn-out face and lack of energy made him seem much older. Depression, which João hadn't initially recognized, had become a silent and destructive companion. Dr. Ricardo vividly remembered that first meeting. "I don't feel anything," João had said, his voice breaking. "Nothing makes me happy. Nothing interests me anymore." That was one of the early signs of depression. The lack of joy in things that used to bring happiness, the loss of interest in life, and the growing isolation. Slowly, João had distanced himself from his family, his job, and the people he loved. "It feels like I'm falling into a bottomless pit, and I can't see a way out." The doctor knew this wasn't just a case of ordinary sadness. It was clinical depression. He explained to João that depression isn't just an emotional issue. It's a disease that affects both the body and the mind. The brain, neurotransmitters, everything was involved. Among the physical symptoms, João mentioned insomnia, constant fatigue, body aches, and a loss of appetite that was beginning to worry his wife. Mentally, he described a mental fog, difficulty concentrating, and an overwhelming sense of despair, as if hope was slipping away. "We need to act, João," Dr. Ricardo said firmly during that first appointment. "The first step is recognizing that this isn't your fault. Depression doesn't choose its victims, but we can fight it." The doctor ordered tests to rule out other conditions that could be contributing to the symptoms, such as hormonal imbalances or thyroid issues. After confirming the diagnosis, Dr. Ricardo explained that the treatment would be multifaceted. Cognitive behavioral therapy would be the first step, essential for helping João identify distorted thought patterns and replace them with healthier ones. In addition, medication was necessary. The choice of antidepressant was made with care. Dr. Ricardo prescribed a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, SSRI, a type of medication that helps regulate serotonin levels in the brain. Although João was hesitant at first, the stigma around using medication was still an obstacle. He understood that depression was a disease, just like any other, that required medical treatment. The first few months were not easy. João experienced side effects like nausea and trouble sleeping, but with dosage adjustments and continued therapy, the dark clouds began to lift. Progress was slow, but noticeable. He began interacting with his colleagues again, and his family saw small changes, such as him finally accepting invitations to social gatherings. There was light at the end of the tunnel. Dr. Ricardo followed João closely over the months. There were ups and downs, but the most important thing was that João was no longer alone. Support from his family, friends, his commitment to treatment, and the doctor's guidance were all key. "You've been a warrior, João," Dr. Ricardo said during a follow-up visit. "You've fought the shadow, and you're winning." Now, nearly a year into treatment, João is a different person. He still takes his medication, but at lower doses, and continues therapy. The smile that had long been absent is back on his face. He's returned to hobbies he had abandoned, like photography, and recently took a trip he had always dreamed of. Depression was no longer his constant companion. He had learned how to manage it, recognize the signs, and most importantly, ask for help when needed. Dr. Ricardo finishes his account with a look of pride and relief. "Many people are going through this in silence, but there is a way out. If you feel like you're in a bottomless pit, seek help. Don't wait until it's too late." If this story touched your heart, remember, no one has to fight alone. Leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content that could help you or someone you love find their way back to happiness. Together, we can break the silence around depression and spread hope.